lovelies, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to be back, especially making a sit-down video. This video has to be one of my most highly requested video ever. Oh, your girl has been busy. I'm pretty sure you know that, especially if you follow me across other social media platforms. You probably know where I've been busy, but y'all, the most important thing is I'm back. So in case you're new here, my name is Sugar. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a nurse coach. I'm a content creator. I'm also an entrepreneur. If you like content relating to all these four things, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, I love you and thank you for coming back. But let's dive into today's video. This video is all about the next generation NCLEX. I've gotten asked millions of times, Sugar, what is the next generation NCLEX? What does it mean? What should I expect? What is the major difference between the next generation NCLEX and the traditional NCLEX? And we're gonna be talking about that in this video. I want to believe this video will be divided into about 6 chapters. So if you want to skip any of these chapters, you can do that with the description box below and also on your screen. But I would advise that you watch the entire video because this is gonna be the only video that you need to watch regarding the next generation NCLEX. I promise you. Guess what? The iPad is out. That means we have a lot of information. Okay, so if you catch me just kind of like reading through, looking, that is because I don't want to miss out on anything, and I want to make sure that you get every possible information that you need about the next generation NCLEX. Also, I waited this long because I wanted to make sure that I've done my research, and I'm now, spitting out BS and telling you guys everything that you need. And not only did I do my research, I was also fortunate to attend a webinar for educators for next generation NCLEX. So when I tell you I have the tea, and this is the video to watch if you need the tea on the next generation NCLEX. So without further ado, let's just get started. Like I said, this video will be divided into about 6 parts, and the first I want to talk about is the comparison between the traditional NCLEX and the next generation NCLEX. A lot of people have asked, so what changed? Is it a brand new NCLEX? No, newsflash, it's not a brand new NCLEX. You still have your traditional NCLEX, but they added a little bit of something to it, and that thing is called clinical judgment. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Okay, we're gonna talk about it all. So what is traditional NCLEX? Just in case you're not familiar with it, the traditional NCLEX has 8 client need question types. So when I did my own NCLEX, my NCLEX was based off of 8 question types, and I'm gonna tell you in a little bit. And what happened with the next generation NCLEX is they added something called clinical judgment, and we're gonna talk about that, like I said, in a little bit. So say you're studying for NCLEX and you're trying to figure out what part of my entire nursing school curriculum should I be focusing on for the NCLEX, especially with traditional NCLEX and now the next generation NCLEX. These are the 8 aspects that the NCLEX tests you on. Obviously, with the next generation NCLEX with clinical judgment. So let's dive into that. The 8 client need question types are management of care. I hope you're taking notes. Safety and infection control, health promotion and maintenance, psychosocial integrity, basic care and comfort, pharmacology and parental therapy, reduction of risk potentials, and lastly, physiological adaptation. So this is the traditional NCLEX. So whenever I did my own NCLEX, all my questions, were based off of these 8 client lead question type. Now, with the next generation NCLEX, like I said, clinical judgment was added onto it. Clinical judgment could be a standard question, or it could come as a case study. Now, with clinical judgment, all your questions are gonna be based off of client's medical record. Okay, that is one way for you to recognize a clinical judgment question. It's always gonna be based off of medical record. Now, with clinical judgment, there's a catch to it. Also, clinical judgment is kind of divided into 6 phases. And I want to tell you something good. Each and every of your clinical judgment will be based off of these 6 phases. Now, remember I did mention case study. All of your case study on the NCLEX will be based off of this 6 phase of clinical judgment. And one thing to also note is it will be chronological, right? And I'll tell you what I mean in a little bit. Now, I'm not just gonna tell you what they are. I also kind of want to tell you what that means, because I'm pretty sure if you go on Google and search what are the 6 phases of clinical judgment, actually the NSCBN, which is such a mouthful for me, called this clinical judgment measurement model, right? I'm pretty sure if you put that on Google, they're just gonna list out the entire 6. What I want to do for you is kind of like expand what each phase means. So the first phase is recognizing cues. What does that mean? Like I said, I attended this webinar. I also did my own research. I think what recognizing cues means is understanding and recognizing what is most important right now. Take, for example, you have a case study, and like I said, all your case study are gonna be based off of these 6 clinical judgment measurement, and they're always gonna come in this chronological manner, right? Your first question, right? Because each case study asks this question. Your first question is gonna be based on recognizing cues. And what you wanna think about when you get this question is, what is the most important right now? What matters the most in this point in time? Or basically seeing something and recognizing something that needs attention in this point in time. So that's your first phase of clinical judgment. Now the second phase to that is called analyzing cues. I think, that is self-explanatory, but again, I'm going to give you what that means in literal terms. What that means is looking for why. When you're analyzing your cues, so on your second question of a case study and you're analyzing cues, what you're looking for is why. Why does this matter? What is the potential issue? Essentially, what you're doing is putting everything together and understanding why number one matters. Now on your third phase, the third phase is called prioritization. Where are we going from here? What do I need to do right now? Where should I start? Determine the client need. So when you get your case study and you read your question, the first thing you should be doing is recognizing the cues. The second thing is analyzing the cues. The third thing is prioritization. What do you need to do right now? And the fourth thing is generate solution. This essentially means what kind of things can I do to help? Or what kind of things should I not do? So basically intervention and contraindication. And the fifth one will be take action. Literally implementing the solution. Remember on your fourth phase, you have generated solution. And the fifth phase, now you're taking action, literally implementing the solution that you generated from the fourth phase. Now the last phase of clinical judgment will be evaluation outcome. Literally evaluating if everything that you've done from, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, evaluating if that does bring a good or, God forbid, a bad outcome. So the good thing that I want you to know about the next generation NCLEX is do not think of this as a complexity exam. Okay, we're gonna dive deeper into it. I'm just telling you the basics in the beginning, right? This is why I said do not skip this video. Every part will be important. Now think of next generation NCLEX as, well, let me put it this way. The traditional NCLEX was a picture, right? The next generation NCLEX is now you're adding cheese on top of your picture. So you're still gonna have your 8 client needs question type in addition to clinical judgment, right? The next thing I want to talk about, and I guess one of the questions that I've gotten asked a lot is, Sugar, why did they change the next generation NCLEX? Okay, like I said, I attended this webinar, and the only thing I could tell you is the next generation NCLEX came about because they're trying to improve clinical judgment and decrease new nurse errors. And this didn't happen all of a sudden. According to the webinar, they've been doing research and just kind of like gathering data for the past almost 17 years and realizing that yes, we're testing our new grad the right way, but it's something that we need to do. They need to improve on their clinical judgment, and we need to decrease new nurse error. And they are taught adding the clinical judgment piece to the traditional NCLEX will kind of like get rid of these two things. So improving the new nurse clinical judgment and also decreasing error. And if you ask me, I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So the next thing we're gonna move on to is kind of like breaking down the next generation NCLEX and understanding, which I think this is the most important part of this video, the next generation NCLEX, kind of like the test plan and all of that. So the first thing I want to talk about is your next generation NCLEX is a 5-hour exam, right? I think the traditional NCLEX was also 5 hours. I can't remember, but God forbid you have to spend 5 hours. But hey, we all know we are different people, and you do like extra time. I believe NCLEX does also allow that. So what you have to do is probably reach out to the center where you'll be taking your exam and let them know, I do need, an extra time. This is what I've been doing since nursing school. They'll probably ask you, for evidence and things like that, and they'll be able to provide that for you. Another thing that I also want you to know is NCLEX is a computer adaptive exam. I'm pretty sure you know that right now. You already know what that means at this point in time. And in case you're not aware of what that means, let me explain to you a little bit. So with the NCLEX, it's a pass or fail exam, right? So you do not get to know your grades. So I made a A, I made a B, I made a C. No. How the computer adaptive works is NCLEX is gonna start everybody on easy question, right? Oh, by the way, before I get into that, the next generation NCLEX will test you on between 85 and 150 questions. Now, again, this is a good thing because back in the day, it used to be 240 questions. So what that means is the least amount of question you can get is 85, and the most amount of question you can get is 150. And you can answer between 85 and 150 questions between 5 hours. Now, I'm not an advocate for you to rush through your exam, but I do believe that is an ample amount of time for you to finish your either 85 or 150 question. I'm going to talk about, getting about 150 questions in your NCLEX. Do not ever think if your NCLEX doesn't stop in 85 questions, you are failed. Please and please erase that from your memory. That is not true. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So like I said, the test is 5 hours. You can either get 85 or between 85 and 150 question. Now, what does computer adaptive mean? It means everybody is going to get started with an easy question, and then if you get those easy questions right, then the computer will increase the intensity of your question. So the more you get right, the harder your question gets. And what NCLEX is essentially testing for is to see if you're gonna get at least 50% of the first 85 questions. Now, I also want to include something. In the first 85 questions, 15 of those questions are not graded. By the way, you would have no idea what those 50 questions are. So essentially, what NCLEX is testing for is to see if you're gonna get at least 36 or 37 questions correct to pass you by the 85th question. So, like I said, the NCLEX is gonna start off with easy questions. And the more you get them right, the harder you get. Now, once you get to your 85th question and the computer can detect, oh my God, this person is above average, then they're gonna pass you. Now, God forbid you get to your 85th question and you've only made about 20% right out of 50. Or let's say you got about 25 questions right out of 70, the NCLEX might also cut off at that point. We definitely cut off, because again, this is so glaring that you are nowhere close to the average. So getting stopped at 85 question could mean two things. You did so well that the computer is so sure that I think she's above average, I'm just gonna let her go. Or oh my God, she's doing so poorly, we can't keep on with this. So if you do not get stopped at the 85th question, that is a good sign if you ask me, especially if you know within yourself that you might be getting more questions wrong than getting right. Because what that means is you are almost at the average, especially if you're getting the easy question wrong. Because the more you get easy question wrong, the more easier question the computer throws at you. Because the goal is to get you to a 51%. Take for example, you're getting those easy questions wrong and you probably at the 85th question you've gotten about 33 right? You know, it's gonna be like, let me try about 4 more questions and see if she's gonna get 3. Because if I give you 4 more questions and you get 3 out of 4, that is getting you above average. Does that make sense? So in case you did not get stopped at 85, do not ever think, oh my God, I'm getting all these questions because I'm failing. No, it's probably because the computer is trying to see, okay, let's see, you know, she's almost there. So what I want you to do is make confidence in yourself. I even tell my students, because I'm a nurse coach and I have a lot of mentees, and I tell them, go into NCLEX with a mentality that this is a 150 question exam. So you don't get disappointed if you don't get stopped at 85. Does that make sense? Like I said, it is a pass or fail exam. So once you pass your NCLEX, in Jesus' name you're gonna pass, and you know, start applying for your first nursing job. Nobody's gonna ask you, so how many questions did you get on the NCLEX? It doesn't matter. So what I want you to do is be confident in yourself. I'm gonna talk to you about the tips to answer those questions in a little bit, or maybe in a different video, we're gonna get to that. But just keep answering to the best of your knowledge. What else do I wanna tell you about? I want to do question format types to be expected. Oh my God, one of the things that also changed about the NCLEX outside of the clinical judgment is the new question format. Oh my God, thank God I have this note. I almost forgot. Okay, now you have your standard note questions, and this could be your regular 8 clients need question type mixed together with the clinical judgment. What standard note question means, you have a question and then you have options, and you should expect between 52 and 117. So 52 and 117 standard note questions. So take for example, you get an 85 question, right? And you get to about 85. You should be expecting about 52 stand-alone questions. So if that is your strongest suit, if you do really well with standard note question and you kind of struggle with select or apply, just know that you have a chance of passing the NCLEX. If you get 35 out of those 52, God forbid you don't even get any of your select or apply right, which I think that also is changing because you have new format for select or apply, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But again, having between 52 and 117 stand-alone question on the NCLEX is also one of the ways where they've made this NCLEX a lot simpler and I think a lot easier for the takers. Now, I do have to say, clinical judgment will be about 10% of your standard questions. So this is stand-alone clinical judgment question, right? Because remember, for clinical judgment, you can either have stand-alone question or you can have the case study. So if you get take for example, you get 52 stand-alone question, 10% of that will be based off of clinical judgment, and the other 90% will be based off of the 8, traditional 8 clients need question types. Another thing that has changed, or the new question format, will be case study, which I kind of talked about already. The 6 part that case study. I do want to say, I think I forgot this in the beginning. It doesn't matter if you get 85 questions or you get 150 questions, you are guaranteed to have between 3 to 5 case studies, okay, on your exam. So you would not be unlucky or you would not be lucky to get 1 case study. You either get 3 or you get 5. Now, it is guaranteed that you're going to get 3 case studies between your first 85 questions, okay? So don't think it's I was going to say a curse word, but we're not going to do that. Don't think it's a bad luck that you get 3 case studies between your first 85 questions. It is standard. Everyone is going to get at least 3 study questions between the first 85 questions. Now, if you end up getting 5, which is the maximum case study question you can get, the entire 150 question, if you end up getting 5 in the first 85 questions, just know about 2 of those are not graded. Remember, 15 questions out of the first 85 questions are not graded. But the not so good thing about that is you wouldn't know which of the case studies are not graded, okay? But just know 3 case studies within your first 85 questions, you're guaranteed to get 3, and 3 of them are going to be graded. Now, if you get another question after those 3, or if you get 4 in total or 5 in total, just know about 3 of those will be graded for sure. And like I said, case study does have 6 questions to it, and we already talked about those. Again, if you need more information or kind of like a more in-depth explanation as to what to expect, and just for me to dive into those 6-part case study for you, like I said, I'm a nurse coach. I offer a coaching session. You can check the link in my bio to book a coaching section. Okay, now the new scoring format is for the select order apply. I'm gonna be looking in my iPad, that way I don't forget anything. For the select order apply, we have new question format, and I think it's divided into 3. The first one being the plus and minus rule. Now, this is a good thing. I have to say, this is a good thing. When I did my NCLEX, we didn't have this. So what I essentially mean, and this is what I tell my mentees and a lot of my, just social media followers in general, is please do not do guesswork on the NCLEX, right? Even if it's just for standalone question, right? Not select or apply. Always select the question, the answer option that you know it is the best answer, right? You would always know, and stop doubting yourself, okay? Stop doubting yourself. So the first new scoring format for the select order apply will be plus or minus rule. And what that essentially means is you're gonna get a question and it's gonna say whatever select order apply. They're gonna give you like say A through F, right? That's 6 options. And take for example, 4 questions are right? And let's say A, B, C, D are the right answer. But you went ahead and select A, B, C, D, and E. For every question that you get right, you get a point. That's the basics, okay? So A, B, C, D are the right options. And take for example, you only select A, B, and C. So you're gonna get 3 points out of 4 points. This is why it is better for you not to get, right? Now take for example, you selected A, B, C, and F. Remember our right option was A, B, C, D. Now A, B, C is correct according to your answer option, but you went ahead and selected F, and F is wrong. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna deduct the F point away from the 3 correct points. So now you're gonna get 2, right? 2 points out of 3 because you lost a point because you basically selected the wrong option. So this is why I always tell you, it would always be in your favor to only select the answer options that you know within yourself is the most correct. Another new scoring format is called the 0 to 1 rule. This is where they give you a question and they give you like 10 answer options, and they will say select 6. So they kind of told you, we want you to select 6. And for these, you don't get the minus. You don't get a minus. So they tell you select 6. Take for example, you selected 6, right? But 3 of those 6 are correct and 3 of them are wrong. You're only gonna get 3 points. Remember, the first scoring format, which is called the plus or minus, is you get 3 right, you get 3 wrong, they subtract 3 from 3, you get a 0 point. But this one is called the 0-1 rule. So they tell you, and you see the question on your NCLEX anyway, they'll tell you select 3 options, right? If you select, say the right options are C, D, E, and then you went ahead and select A, B, C, you're only gonna get 1 point right. You're not gonna get 2 points, which is A and B that was wrong. They're not gonna deduct it. You're gonna get 1 point, right? That's the good thing about that. Another scoring format is rational scoring rule, which with this one, I will try to explain what it is. This is when they tell you, so take for example, Sugar is wearing making dash because she's making dash type of video. So they will have like, so the dash essentially means a drop down. So it's kind of like a rationale. So essentially the dash will have options for you. So Sugar is wearing a scrub, a dress, a tank top, so let's just say that a scrub, a dress, a tank top because she's making a dash video. Because she's making a nursing video. The next option for that dash would be because she's making a nursing video, B, vlog video, C, TikTok video, D, YouTube video. And now with this one, you can either get one question wrong, both questions wrong, or get them right. So take for example, you go, Sugar is wearing a scrub because she's making a vlog video. Now I'm actually wearing a scrub. You're gonna get that right. But say the second option is because I'm making a nursing video, you're gonna get that option wrong because you have said I'm making a vlog video. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to throw in like a little example. That way you kind of have like a good understanding of what this answer format are. Now, I'll just kind of like touch on the new, ads on, with everything else we have talked about. Those will be extended selector that apply. Like with the new selector that apply, you can have up to like selecting 10, 11. Again, this is a way for you to not guess. I would only select one option if that's the only thing I'm sure about. Another thing that was added on is metrics and grid, drag and drop, highlight and bow ties. Now, the next part of this video, I kind of want to talk to you about the strategy that I think will help you to haste your next generation NCLEX. And if I'm being honest, I kind of told you guys about this. Clinical judgment is essentially they want you to do away with guesswork. That's it. If you do not have a good understanding of your nursing school content, you might struggle a little bit with next generation NCLEX. And this is why I always advise people, I don't care what your grades are in nursing school. Some people are good test takers. You know what I mean? But they do not necessarily understand the content. And some people actually know everything they've been taught, but they are not good test takers. It is good to be both. To be average with both. Be a good test taker and also have a good understanding of your content. But the reason why it is very important for you to have a good understanding of your content is it would always catch up with you on the NCLEX if all you did in nursing school was guesswork. Trust me when I say it would catch up. So with clinical judgment, there's no way you want to be able to answer those case studies and also your standard clinical judgment question with the 8 client need question type without having like a good understanding of your content. So the most important thing for you is to study. I know the first thing everybody kind of like gravitate towards is the NCLEX practice question, which is a good thing, right? But how do you make a good judgment of where you're at academically if you do not study before you dive into those practice questions? So let's back it up a little bit. The first thing I want you to do to help you increase your chances of passing your next generation NCLEX is improve your clinical judgment understanding. Understand your clinical judgment. I want you to understand clinical judgment. Like I said, I've talked about that in, earlier on in this video. You can also do more research, for yourself. Another thing that I want you to also do is improve your critical thinking skills and your decision making skill. You have to improve that. Again, one way, let me back it up. One way for you to increase and improve your clinical judgment skill is to study. And when I mean study, I don't mean studying your nursing school PowerPoint and studying all your textbook from first semester to freaking last semester. That's gonna overwhelm you. You need a concise note. If you've taken notes in nursing school, this is the time for you to whip out your notes and kind of focus on the places that you struggled the most with in nursing school, or do a revision, or better still, get a study guide. I, for one, I'm pretty sure you guys know by now, I'm an author of the Ultimate Nursing School Study Guide. It is always selling out. You guys know this already. And I have videos of people that have used it for NCLEX and they've given good reviews about it, especially on TikTok. It is a concise study guide. It has everything that we talked about the NCLEX, the 8 client need question type. It has all of that and even more. All your nursing school core classes are on my study guide. I'm going to put a picture and a video for you on the screen. Again, check out the website to see if we have it available. If not, you can pre-order. But this is a very good, all-inclusive, all-in-one. We have fundamentals, pharmacology, health assessment, mental health, pediatrics, maternity, message 1, 2, and 3. Everything that you need in nursing school. You can go on the website and check the table of content. Everything that you've learned in nursing school is included in this study guide, and everything is broken down in layman's words. And especially if you're trying to study for the NCLEX and you didn't take note in nursing school because you never had time to, this is a good book for you to buy. Get it and use it to revise and kind of refresh your memory of your nursing school content. I also learned on the NCLEX webinar that the questions they get wrong the most are fundamentals and pharmacology, because those were the classes that were taken first in nursing school, and a lot of people have forgotten about them, right? Again, my book does have fundamental and pharmacology. Check it out. So one way for you to improve your clinical judgment skill is to have a deep understanding of your content. That way, regardless of what the question throws at you, you know your stuff, and all you gotta do is read the question and read the answer option. Now, like I said, the second tip would be improve your critical thinking and decision-making skill. How do you improve critical thinking and decision-making skill? By doing practice questions. So this is where your practice question website does come in. Now, when I did my NCLEX, which I have a video about it in the description box, I did use Kaplan and I used UWord. But one website that a lot of people have talked about the most is Archer. Personally, I have never used it, but a lot of my mentees that pass next generation NCLEX, I can include their video in this video. Or better still, go on my TikTok or just search the Ultimate Nursing School Study Guide on TikTok or something. A lot of them did say Archer, and my book helped them pass the NCLEX. Again, another thing for you to do if you want to pass the NCLEX on the first try is to master the new question format and to practice question in that regard. Like I said, we have several new question format. I already talked about it. Whenever you get all these practice question website, I hope they've updated their practice question to the point where you're able to practice all this new question format, and that way you can kind of like familiarize yourself with what to expect on the real NCLEX. Again, as you study, I want you to focus on understanding rather than cramming. I don't want you cramming. That would do you no good. No memorization, no cramming. Understanding matters a lot. And again, my last point right here is to study systematically. I think for me, I always tell people, if you jump from one body system to another, or today you study med-surg, tomorrow you go to pediatrics, next tomorrow you go to mental health, that is gonna, I don't know, I feel like for me, systematic studying is the best. Again, I'm gonna make another video where I'm gonna dive into how to study for the NCLEX. In fact, I would say whenever you're watching this video, probably check the description box. You probably have like a video dedicated to that, because I don't want to dive too deep into that. This video is going to be too long, but studying systematically is very important. Also, develop a text-based strategy and think positively. Again, I think I might be able to dive deeper into this in my next video about the NCLEX. Again, it is self-explanatory, but we can talk more about it in my next video. Develop a test-based strategy and think positively. Test day is very important. I remember whenever I was going into my test, I've always done well in nursing school. You guys know I'm an A student. I graduated with honors, and I remember I have a vlog about it, by the way. The minute I got to my test center, I have my vlog camera and I said, oh, I think I'm gonna get all the questions on the NCLEX. I started doubting myself. I started doubting my ability, and when I tell you, I got all the freaking questions in the NCLEX. The reason was my thought process. Okay, so make sure you're thinking positively. Very, 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 very important. I was also gonna talk about the resources for you to study with for the NCLEX. Like I said, the Ultimate Nursing School Study Guide is my highest recommendation for you. It is study guide. It is concise, very picture. I'll make another video and show in case you guys on YouTube have no idea what the Ultimate Nursing School Study Guide is. I'll make a different video to dive into the book. But again, you can go on my website. It is scrolling on the screen right now. Just kind of learn more about the book. Another book that I would recommend without being biased is the Saunders textbook. Now, this is more or less like a study guide as well, but a little bit more in depth and a little bit like heavier. It is good for NCLEX prep. Again, honestly, I don't care how good your grade was in nursing school. I don't care how badly you did in nursing school. NCLEX is different, and you need to study for it differently. Also, what I would recommend as well would be the Archer website, UWorld, Kaplan. I mean, if tens and hundreds of people are using this website and they're singing praises about it, it's probably because it is working for them. So you might want to look into that as well. Another thing I want to talk about, or I think I already talked about, is your nursing school notes. If you're a type of person that took notes in nursing school, do not sleep on that. That might be a fool for you. So lastly, what I want to talk about is my loves. I know you are all tensed up. You're thinking, oh, can I pass the NCLEX? How am I gonna go about it? I know everything that you feel right now, I understand because I've been there. But one thing I want to tell you is, You've done all the work to get here. Okay, graduated nursing school, passing a semester, advancing from one semester to another. It is no joke. I'm pretty sure you know that. I'm pretty sure you see your class size. I'm pretty sure you know how many of you guys started. And you know, I don't even know if you guys have up to 70% of you guys left. So you've done all the work to get here. Do not doubt for a second that you cannot make it. You can, and you will. In my next video, I'm gonna dive into the NCLEX basic. NCLEX is not, it's a safety exam. I want to say some nursing school exams are even harder than NCLEX. Like I said, in my next video where we're gonna be talking about diving deeper into how to answer your question on the NCLEX, how to best study for it, and all of that, because I'm gonna dive into all to expect on NCLEX, you know, what they're expecting from you, how to think about your question, how to interpret your question, and things like that. But trust me when I said it is a safety exam, and you will and you can pass. Do not doubt yourself. Do not ever think this is not for you. Another tip that I have out here, just kind of like my concluding, because you guys know I'm an educator, and if there's anything, you guys know I'm always motivating you guys, is I want you to visualize your success. Again, you guys know I'm very big on visuals. If you have my book, if you have my study guide, and if you follow me on social media, I'm a visual person. I like to visualize things. Visualize what your success will look like. Visualize what your life will look like if you succeed on the NCLEX. And don't do the otherwise. I know. Your mind might trick you to think, oh, if you pass the NCLEX, you start your dream nursing job, you start making, you know, whatever money, you start helping people. But if you fail, this will happen. I don't want you to do that. The only thing I want you to do is visualize your success. What would it look like for me if I pass the NCLEX? Imagine calling your best friend, your mom, your family member, your husband. Like, imagine all the good things that would happen to you if you do succeed, and have that at the back of your mind when you're about to take your NCLEX. Another thing I want you to do also is to reward yourself. So again, when I would study, I would tell myself, if I can sit put and study for 3 hours straight, I would, you know, do something for 30 minutes, whether that is napping or whatever it is that you like to do for fun exercising. Reward yourself for your small wins. If you do your practice question and you've always made maybe 50%, and now you've started to make about 80% or 90% of your NCLEX practice question, reward yourself. Have a snack, you know, give your brain the reward. Let yourself feel good about your little success milestone. Another thing that I want you to do is stress management. Okay, I want you to be able to manage. I've seen a lot of people tell me, Sugar, I don't even have enough time to study for NCLEX. I'm so stressed. I don't know where to start. Yes, I know you don't know where to start. I know you don't know how to study. I know you don't know. I know all of that, which is I'm going to make another video telling you how to study, how to make your study schedule and all of that. But manage your stress. Remember, this is the last leg. It's kind of like running a race, because nursing school is not a race, it's a marathon, right? And you are like in the last 100 meters. Just push through. Manage that. I don't care how stressful it is to prep for NCLEX. I know for a fact you were more stressed in nursing school. And if you can get through nursing school stress, I mean, you can definitely get through the stress of passing and prepping for NCLEX. And lastly, rest up, okay? Rest up and remember your capacity, the things that you can do, and the things that you've done. And my love, this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two. If you have any more questions for me, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll be glad to answer a question. And like I said, if you need help prepping for NCLEX, you know, study tips, you want me to study with you, you know, I do have a coaching session. You can click the link in my bio as well to book a coaching call with me. Very affordable. Also, do not forget to grab a copy of the Ultimate Nursing School Study Guide. Currently, we are sold out, but we're on pre-order. This is a very good resource for you for when you're in nursing school. This book took me about 2 years to write. I'm going to make a video about it on YouTube because I don't think I've introduced the book to you guys yet on YouTube. But again, if you check out my Instagram, my TikTok, you will definitely understand why this book is always a seller. Again, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you watch up until this point, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with people that it might be helpful for. And I want you to stay motivated, stay inspired. I love you, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye for now.